Hello, my name is Kengo Kawa.
And my name is Madoka Tsuchihara.
We're both from Los Angeles, California, and our focus is turning the DMZ war zone into a global peace park. This is where the DMZ is located. The size is 4 kilometers by 250 kilometers, and in the middle is the military demarcation line running all the way across the peninsula. Our project is turning the entire DMZ war zone into a global peace park where we want the 5th UN office to be. The strongest proponents of this project have been 2 individuals, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon and Reverend Sumyo Moon. Dr. Hak Jahan explains in her recent memoir,
in his speech given at the United Nations headquarters in New York in 2000, my husband announced our vision of a peace park in a demilitarized zone. I have recommended that the UN open its 5th office in Korea, specifically in the demilitarized zone on the 38th parallel. This will bring the issue of Korean reunification to the attention of the world's people as no other action can.
As Reverend and Mrs. Moon recommended, we also see the DMZ as a strategic location to establish a 5th UN office to help bring about a peaceful reunification of the Korean peninsula. Why is building a global peace park at the DMZ significant? We need to understand the situation of how the DMZ was created. Do you know what divided Korea? It's the ideologies. An example of this war of ideologies was the Korean War. The Korean War was a war between North Korea and South Korea. Communism is a thought centered on humankind and materialism, not on an unchanging God. The North represents communism, and the South represents the free democratic nation. The fighting ended on July 27, 1953, when the Korean Armistice Agreement was signed. This agreement created the DMZ to separate the North and the South, but no peace treaty was ever signed, so the 2 Koreas are still at war. Korea became the final endpoint of the confrontation of the ideologies of Godism and atheism. So what happened worldwide in the years following the division of North and South Korea shows how the 38th parallel was truly the front line of battle between democracy and communism. So Christian values in South Korea declined, and communist values quickly spread its influence. While as it stands now, communist countries are not the only ones in danger, but even democratic countries are losing to this ideology and causing problems like what we see in South Korea with the Christian churches. Young people in South Korea are now leaving their churches. According to the research company Gallup Korea, in 2015, 69% of Koreans in their 20s had no religious belief. This is up from 55% in 2005. We can observe other growing problems in South Korea, influenced by the communist and materialistic ideology. So seeing the situation as their own, Reverend and Mrs. Moon felt the pain as their own and took action by going to the North directly to address the very concern of creating a godless society, even risking their life to bring hope for the reunification of North and South Korea. They also understood clearly how significant America plays in the success of this project. The southern half of the DMZ is currently controlled by America. America can initiate and assume the leading position in turning the DMZ into a peace park and ultimately unite the 2 Koreas by calling on the UN to establish its 5th office in the DMZ. With the peninsula still divided, who ultimately has become the victim of communism and fascism? It's the youth.
The youth has an important role in this project. We know that great history has been made by the young people, and now is the time youth can stand up and make a change. But this mission cannot be done by the youth alone. We need to work together with the professors who has the knowledge and experience to resolve this conflict. That is why our mission is to build a platform for righteous professors and youth to initiate the development of a global peace park in the DMZ, a solution for resolving the conflict on the Korean peninsula. This supports number 16 and 17 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And up to this point, we eagerly made efforts to create the groundwork for this project. We traveled to South Korea in 2017 as a youth movement together with 120 young people holding several rallies on peace and prayer in different locations including the DMZ and Kwanhamun. We also held a symposium on the topic of Korean reunification at the National Assembly, which is their Capitol building, and student representatives from Korea, Japan, and America all gave heartwarming speeches for the desire of unification. We also had an opportunity to meet together and get connected with Dr. Soon-Ho Lee, who is the president and co-founder of the DMZ Forum. And we are hoping to work with other organizations with similar goals for reunification. With all that has been done, we are working to form this platform to encourage different organizations to work on this project of turning the DMZ war zone into a global peace park. Locally here, we established the Professors World Peace Academy as a platform for our professors to work together with the passionate young people of the Collegiate Association for the Researcher Principles. Once we unite the power of the youth and the professors' knowledge and experience centered on God's heart, we can make anything possible. We also will work with the Young Christian Leadership Conference to all unite under the same purpose of bringing peace to the peninsula. And as a first big step, on June 25th, we held a unity concert organized by the young people for the purpose of bringing the reunification on the Korean peninsula. We brought the Christian pastors, professors, and their youth together, and also challenged to mobilize the media. This became a great foundation to start on the project to build a global peace park. So we hope we can continue to spread the awareness of this conflict with your help. Thank you very much for listening to our project on turning the DMZ war zone into a global peace park. We hope we can work together for realizing a peaceful world. Thank you.